Go ahead and call the meeting to order. Item number 2, minutes of September 21st, 2017, Lake Atoka Reservation Association meeting. Do I hear a motion to approve?
So move.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Thank you. Item number 3, items of individual consideration. Item A, resolution of the Atoka Lake Reservation Association recommending the Oklahoma City Water Utilities Trust receive and approve the Lake Atoka Reservation Association fiscal year 2019 budget in the amount of $374,427. Do I hear a motion to approve resolution?
Move approval.
Thank you. Second? Here a second. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Item B, receive financial statement and report of independent auditor for fiscal year end June 30th, 2017.
Move approval.
Thank you. Do I hear a second? Second. Thank you. Roll call, please. Sorry, I'm used to doing a roll call. Apologize. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? All right. Items from individual board members. Anything? Item 5, items from the City of Atoka. A, receive lake patrol and activity as provided by the Chief at the City of Atoka. Mr. Dotson. Okay. Any questions? We don't accept that report, or we accept it? Receive. Okay. Have a motion to receive the report?
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Item 6, General Manager's report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Dustin, you have a report?
Good afternoon, Chairman and board members. Dustin Segraves, Water Quality Superintendent for Oklahoma City. Just as McGee Creek is the precipitation was actually low, and so with the rain that came, it actually we're right now 8.54 above normal of inches of rain. Currently, the lake level back in February was 587, which is good. The reason why it's good is, and Larry will talk about it later, is for the construction project on the spillway. And what we're trying to do is pump as fast as we can to be able to get the lake level low for construction activities, but also to be able to help keep Lake Stanley Draper full as well. So, and with, as Donnie mentioned with McGee Creek, is we're not pumping McGee Creek, is so that way I don't want to add water to Atoka and with the construction be able to lose it and waste that energy and money. So it's going to be fun and interesting in this upcoming year to be able to maintain the lakes with all the construction going on. Any questions? Thank you.
Second item, we have a presentation on the spillway and chute project. Larry here.
Good morning. In addition to all of the work that we're doing at the spillway, I'm also going to be talking about other items down the list on this particular subject, such as the status of the pipeline projects and other projects of interest as you see on your agenda. So moving on to the dam chute project, this is the Atoka Dam. Some of these slides some of you may have seen before, but I want to give you a brief background of where we are. This is the Atoka Dam. It is a earthen dam constructed in 1959. The top elevation of the dam is at 600 feet above sea level, and the spillway right here is at 590 feet above sea level. In May of 2015, we had record rain events all across the state, and this was approximately a 100-year event that was spilling over the spillway, and the peak lake level during this time was at 596.4. The peak discharge was estimated to be about a little over 400 million gallons per hour going down the chute. As a result, the crest of the spillway was damaged, needed to be replaced. We found the chute is undersized. The stilling basin down here, as you can see, has been destroyed, and we hired Freezing Nichols to take a look, as a consultant, to take a look and see what improvements we can do to mitigate all of this damage. So the current performance that they found out is that the state requires spillways to pass 75% of the probable maximum flood. And right now, what we can do with the existing spillways, about 32% of that. So this would require raising the top of the dam right here and enlarging the spillway. Through computer modeling, the engineer recommended using an OG-shaped weir, which is wider than what we have right now, as well as a wider chute and a steeper slope, and rehabilitating the stilling basin down here. By raising the top of the dam, it will be a two-wall concept with a concrete structure underneath. That way we're not adding dirt on either side of the embankment to add more weight on the top of the dam. It also maintains the center line and reduced costs. And drainage will be collected through a central drainage way right here. In design for the chute and the stilling basin, they did some actually physical modeling at the University of Utah, or Utah State, and they came up with the concept of a tiered rolled compacted concrete dike right here in order to keep the swirling action of the amount of water anticipated from inundating either the City of Oklahoma City's pump station or City of Atoka's pump station. In doing so, we created like about a 10-acre area that needed to be drained off during storm events. In order to mitigate that, we came up with the concept of building a wall around the City of Atoka's pump station with a little sump pumping station, and adding a drainage way here on this side in order to take care of any of the water flooding out here. The storm water would be gathered into a vault right here and then emptied out into the bottom of the spillway or the chute. Here is a rendering of the design looking up at the widened chute, as well as what we call dragon's teeth, in order to slow the water down and not tear everything up right here. This is what the rolled compacted concrete wall would look like. Here's a rendering looking down at the improved chute, as well as the new spillway right along in here. And this is a view of what the new road and the new roadway would look like. And here's another good overall view of everything that's going to be built. Here's a better view of what the wall around the City of Atoka pump station would look like. So doing all of this work at the dam, we also found out that at the southern tip of Atoka, there is a small berm section right here. And if we're going to raise the elevation of the dam by 7.5 feet, we also have to raise the southern tip as well. Raising the dam and raising the height of the dam and of the small berm will not increase the lake storage capacity. It's just we're improving what's the pressure reducing valve or plug right there in case of heavy rainfall. So this, in order to mitigate a core involvement with a wetland, we decided to design a berm on the southern tip to go around the issue, and that solved a whole lot of permitting problems right there. As we did during the Atoka Pump Station Rehabilitation Project back in 2009 to 2011-ish, 12-ish, we had to shut down a portion of the lake road in order for that to happen. And we will have to do the same thing because of the heavy earthwork going on here at the dam. But the public will still have access to the boat ramp and the playground here in this area. We have received the core permit for construction, which is very good news. We're advertising in March 28th in order to start the bidding process. And we're looking to issue the work order to start construction this May for an approximate 18-month construction period. Moving on to the boat ramp and courtesy dock there on the East Lake Atoka Road, which is this area right up here. Oops, I went too far. This area right up here. This is a grant project. This will be a new boat ramp that's 150 foot long, being designed by TAP Architecture. The grant is set up where the state will provide 75% of the funds, and we front up the other 25%. The Oklahoma Department of Wildlife Conservation required a few design changes to be made, which we did. And so we will be gathering all of that, as well as other paperwork, and submit the grant application in the next coming weeks. And this could be up to a 6-month review by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife for the grant in their regional office in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Lake Atoka Road improvements for Fish Camp Road. It's about a 1 mile long. We're also going to be looking at boat ramp and parking improvements here in this area. We plan on bidding this summer to coincide with the low water elevations associated with the dam project. WM260 is the fire breaks, erosion control measures by Intercon Services. We had an informational meeting with Atoka officials on September of last year. We're looking at 30-foot wide fire breaks made constructed of wood and mulch. The issue is what level of effort should we do to mitigate for this little fellow right here, which is the American burying beetle, an endangered species. That is particularly, his territory is right there in, where the Atoka Lake is. So our facilities are right smack in his territory is what I'm trying to say. So Intercon is writing a white paper for a process on exactly how much to mitigate, where to mitigate. We're looking at setting aside some land off on the Atoka Reservation so that we don't have to go through any credits or anything like that. And there may be an option to do a mitigation bank, not only for this project, but also for the Atoka pipeline project, where I think 2/3 of that pipeline is within beetle territory. Segueing into the Atoka pipeline projects, the Habitat Conservation Plan by Intercon has been finished and is under review by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife. We're not sure when we will receive comments back from them yet. We have several segments of the Atoka pipeline under design. These in particular have gone to 100% design from Pump Station O to Colgate, as well as from Colgate to Stonewall. We're looking for their plans on May the 2nd, and then from Ada to the Canadian River on the May the 13th. And we plan to bid some, none, or all of these this fall. And in addition to that list is also the river crossing across the Canadian River, which what we currently have is an aerial crossing. And the design is to replace this aerial crossing by tunneling underneath the river for the new pipeline, as well as for the existing pipeline, and abandoning this, abandoning this. So from soil borings, this is what the tunnel profile would look like across the river. They were able to sketch up what the different layers of soil and material that they will be boring through. It appears we'll be skimming right through a border between the shale and sandstone, which is where they would rather bore under in this transition period, which is of softer material, more granular material. They may have to deepen this shaft right here in order to stay within that layer right there. There are some shaft locations. They're looking at putting in some temporary shafts so that the bore underneath the river is not quite so long. It allows the contractor to take a break right here and bore and tunnel from here to here, and then turn the machine around and go from there to there. The schedule for the Canadian River crossing is fairly aggressive, and we're looking for 100% plans and specifications for that on the end of July of this year. And that's what I have for all of that.
I move we receive the reports.
Thank you. I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Do I hear a second? All those opposed? Very good. Moving on down, citizens to be heard. Is there anyone at this time that has anything to say? Hearing none, we'll move. Do I hear a motion to adjourn? And a second. Okay. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed?